Los Ángeles por si un culo pendejo.
In the late 70s, a young Chicano actor named Edward James Olmos, in his first mainstream break, delivered a powerful and intense stage performance as El Pachuco in Luis Valdez's Zoot Suit.
Más chucote que la chingada. Pues órale.
That role would earn him a Tony Award nomination and, just as important, a place as a new standard bearer of Latino culture. Acting roles came in fast and furious after that. He played an Indian activist in the horror movie Wolfen, and he created the role of the mysterious Gav in the cult classic Blade Runner with Harrison Ford.
Got the wrong guy, pal.
Lopa, negojma, te vaya play.
In 1985, for the TV series Miami Vice, he was the determined Lieutenant Castillo, a role that became the moral center of the series and which won almost both an Emmy and a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor.
Don't ever come up to my face like this again, detective.
In 1988, Olmos portrayed real-life teacher Jaime Escalante, who turned his East LA students into math whizzes in spite of their difficult backgrounds. The film, Stand and Deliver.
Those scores would have never been questioned if my kids did not have Spanish surnames and come from barrio schools. You know that.
The film, like the man Olmos portrayed, inspired students to become standouts, and it earned Olmos an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. From there, Olmos moved behind the camera. His directorial debut, in which he also starred, was a 1992 film of equal but altogether different power, American Me.
And actors.
A brutal, realistic look at Chicano gang life in East LA.
Running that show on the inside is one thing. Running out here is a different trip.
Eddie is a person like Rosa Parks who can demonstrate to us how much power we have.
In 1995, he won a second Globe, this time as Best Supporting Actor for his role as a union leader in The Burning Season. In 1995, he starred in the critically acclaimed film My Family, Mi Familia. And 2 years later, he unleashed his characteristic intensity, playing the domineering father of the Latina singing sensation in Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez.
That's it!
What did you say?
I said, I love him.
Of course he does. You're young, you're beautiful, and you're rich.
But it was his role as the family patriarch in the PBS series American Family that once again broke new ground for Olmos, featuring a Latino cast. Olmos directed Walkout, a story about the 1968 Chicano students' walkout protesting academic bias and dismal conditions in East LA schools. Olmos' career can literally be said to boldly go where no Latino has gone before in the Sci-Fi Channel's drama Battlestar Galactica.
I want you to turn around and get your fat ass out of here. Get your men ready. Yes. It's begun.
Hey, I told him I knew a guy, therefore I come to you.
So take back the passports. After Little Toto, we're not taking on any new customers.
Son, did you just smoke your own hand?
The man who became an actor along the way, almost incidental to his search for his sense of himself as a human being, Edward James Olmos' message and his example to the nation's vast spectrum of color and age and class is that hard work makes all things possible. It is his own sueño americano, the American dream.
That's a perfect way to end this play. Happy ending y todo.
So, here to help me present the Legend Award, please join me in welcoming Ariel Award winner and Mexican child star Martín Castro.
Buenas noches a todos, soy Martín Castro de la película El Jeremías que se estrena este 21 de octubre. Vengo desde México para decirle algo al señor Olmo.
Bueno, ahí está.
premio es para usted. Venga por él. ¡Fuerte el aplauso!
Que Dios los bendiga, de veras. Todos ustedes están aquí por una razón, por Ariel Sainz y LA Times y hoy. Ariel, 1,000 times over, thank you for having the inspiration, the understanding, and the ability to bring us here. Couldn't be nicer. I am moved to tears. I've been moved to tears a couple of times. I stand here and I'm 70 years old, okay? I know I look good, but soy viejito. Yeah. But I stand here on the shoulders of my mother, my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, the great grandparents that lived in Ethiopia. Yeah, it's funny. But it's a truth that we have to realize. When you look at Edward James Olmos, you remember one thing. I'm African first, Asian second, indigenous third, mixed with my Caucasianness, and that's what makes me brown. I stand here in front of what I consider to be one of the strongest artists that I've ever known in my lifetime, and that's Luis Valdez. My love for you is eternal. You created a vehicle that launched more people's lives than any one single event in the history of Chicano or Latino industry ever. There's never in the history of this country has there been anything. It was monumental. When I got the opportunity to do it, I was overwhelmed by the fact that they had chosen me to play this role. It was, que le voy echando mis trapos. Estas garras me las planté porque me dijeron que iban a estar aquí. Guáchale, aliviánese con mis calcos, y lisa, mis tramos, mi carlango. Nel, ¿sabe qué? ¿Cómo se me hace que todos ustedes son verdolagas? Puros cueros, vatos. I said those words back in 1978, and the world changed for not only my life, but the life of people whose artistry was held back by a discrimination that is overwhelming and a prejudice that to this day, right now, 2016, reeks throughout this country and around the world. Okay, we are very fortunate. But I gotta tell you, nos tienen miedo. Mucho miedo nos tienen. Do you know why? Porque somos muchos y vamos a ser muchos más. We are millions and millions and millions and millions of people, and we're gonna be millions and millions and millions more. Why? Because we like to make babies. I'm sorry. And with everybody. I have been so lucky. I stand here and tell you that I have gotten to this point because I learned at a very young age to give more than you receive. Think about that. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if my ego would allow me to stand up here today. I would probably phoned it in. I'm too busy. I can't do it today. Because the love that you have given me throughout my life has been overwhelming. The kind of respect and love that you have all shared with me every time you see me has been overwhelming. And that's why when we got into this, I tell you, I give thanks to the bottom of my heart for certain things that have happened in my life. And one of them is the Latino Film Institute. The ability for us to be able to share and give back to our community an intensely beautiful understanding of the Youth Cinema Project. I was talking to Luis. outside. Many of you don't know about this, but you will. We started off 1998, but about 10 years ago, Polo Munoz and Jessica Just, these two people, with Polo leading the way, literally walked in, and I supported them. Hey, I'm not a rich guy, all right? I'm not. I've turned down more money than I'll ever make because I didn't want to do things that compromised us as human beings. And it's been overwhelmingly difficult. But at the same time, I backed these people, and they created in 10 years an incredible curriculum that allows our children in the 4th grade, we start teaching them how to talk a story. Just tell me a story. We put them in groups. We bring in great instructors, and a lot of them are here tonight. God bless you guys for what you're doing to our community. You are here tonight representing the future of education in this country. Because right now, we started off in a couple of classrooms. And right now, we are in 13 school districts in all of California and growing at a disproportional rate of over 200 to 300% every year in the amount of people. It's spreading to New Mexico, it's spreading to Arizona, it's spreading to Texas and Florida. It's going to spread all across this country. Why? Because it teaches kids how to be creative in their thinking, have critical thought, collaborate, communicate. The common core of life that you have to have it. When we teach in the 4th grade, when I brought the American Film Institute's executive directors and all of their heads of all the divisions, when I brought them over there, the #1 institute of cinema in the world, not in the United States, in the world, AFI, they were lloraron, they cried. They cried because they couldn't believe what they were watching. 4th grade kids making their own movies, but not just making their movies. These kids they had the best teacher in California's history for the last 2 years ago. She won the Teacher of the Year award. This woman was standing there holding onto the ladder as all of her students and 40 kids in this classroom. She looked at our teachers that walk in. They come in and go, if anybody walked in here, they would say that this class is out of control. But every single child is working. Every single child is doing something. And I'm talking about kids that were wallflowers. They would never talk. English as a second language is a misnomer. They don't speak English. They constantly are trying to relate and things. They were participating. They were talking in English, writing in English. Why? Because they were telling their story. And by telling their story, they were able to communicate. And then for the whole year, and I thank our board of directors, and a lot of them are here tonight, and especially to Bonnie Garcia. Bonnie, you have given us more than you will ever know, my friend, by donating and committing yourself to bringing about the truth understanding of what we're doing and bringing it out to the point of where legally, he's one of the greatest lawyers in the world. This guy has legally gotten us to the point of where we have been able to go to the superintendents and to school districts. And my #1 superintendent is here from my Montebello Unified School District. Susana Contreras, you were one of the greats in bringing this about. I also have Willie Zukov. Are you in here, Stephen? He's not here. Stephen Zukov, and especially my oldest and dearest friend for over 65 years, him and I have walked together through this, and that's Jay Nomura. Jay, I give you, as being on the board of directors of our institute and helping us formulate one of the finest understandings of life. And these fourth graders have made people cry, Luis. Adults come in and they're very, we'll stay for 10 minutes. They sit there and then they stand there and they just then pretty soon they're seeing these kids in 90 minutes. And they're working and working and working and doing their thing, and then they start to cry because you see young girls, Latina girls, all cultures are represented, but when you see these children give themselves in a way that nobody even knew that they had it, because they were afraid to talk, they were afraid to participate. And now, I'll tell you this right now, the American Film Institute wanted this to be under their umbrella. They said, this is the 21st century education. I said, you know what? You can support us if you'd like, but this is the Latino Film Institute. And the Latinos have brought this to the world for one reason, to unify all of us under the understanding, like Luis said, there's only one race, and that's the human race. I love you guys. To all of our instructors that are here from the Youth Cinema Project, to my incredible executive director, Rafael Agustin. Man, you are an amazing person, my friend. You're leading us into a world that will never be the same. And because of your determination and that of my own son, who has devoted himself now to come in and be a part of it. Where are you, Bodhi? Bodhi, who has given himself now to the program, and both of them together have made an extraordinary commitment. So, Ariel, hoy, LA Times, and to everybody that's in here and helped participate and make this thing what it is. Hold on, because we are forced to be tended with, and we will represent humanity the way it should be, with dignity, grace, and understanding, giving more than we receive. God bless you all. Thank you so much.